It says scheduled. All right, we're live now.
Hi.
Actually, it says we've been live for 22, so they've been listening to us the whole time, probably.
Cool.
Welcome to Paving the Way. Once again, I'm Jonathan Brown.
Patrick Mullen.
Seth Maxey.
Professor Seth Maxey.
If that's what you want to go with.
Yeah. I was going to go with doctor, but I thought professor sounded,
Haven't got the PhD yet.
Yeah. So today we're actually going to do some talking about compaction and asphalt and why it's important to you, to your parking lot, and to us, why it's important to us in the product that we're putting down.
Wait. You brought me in for compaction. This isn't a fat joke, is it?
You should know us. Everything's a fat joke. I'm just kidding. No, so Seth is actually our resident expert, the professor of asphalt. Oh, I actually added lights. Sorry. How much better is that?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, sorry. So unprofessional, I know, but I'm going to do it anyways.
I can't sit here with that shit like that.
You can turn it down some. Sorry, this is very unprofessional to do after the fact. Okay, so compaction. With asphalt, when you're putting down asphalt and you're installing asphalt, compaction is probably one of the most important things you can deal with. Yeah?
It's going to make your asphalt last the longevity that it should. If you get the proper compaction, your asphalt's going to last the way it should.
All right. So compacting is, how do we perform compaction? What do we use to compact asphalt? Once you put asphalt down, I mean, obviously we've seen videos online. We've seen it all, how asphalt goes through the paver. The paver places it in this nice, smooth, pretty mat, as you set it on the ground.
That's where your compaction starts. The screed on the paver.
Okay. So
pressing the asphalt down, making it flat, and making it uniform.
Okay.
The weight of the screed does help with compaction.
Okay.
It's as the paver goes, it's in a float position, so it's just the weight of the screed with the people standing on it. That is the start of compaction, and then you're following with your steel wheel rollers.
Okay, and then so that's going to be called the breakdown roll. Is going to be your steel wheel roller, right?
Correct.
Your first pass on that, and that comes out how soon after the paver puts it down do you want to be rolling it?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
You need to be on it ASAP.
Pretty quickly. You want to make sure that it's hot when you do the initial, what they call breakdown compaction. That's the initial first roll over it, and if you wait too long to get that first roll in, you won't be able to hit the compaction that you're looking for. So you want to get on it while it's still really hot.
So the temperature, like you're saying, so it comes down to temperatures a lot. You want to hit that. So the breakdown roll is your first roll that goes in, and your second roll is going to be your finish roll, right? So where does most of the compaction happen, in your breakdown roll or your finish roll?
Your compaction, as soon as you hit it in your breakdown roll, you're going to get the majority of your compaction.
Okay.
As the asphalt's the hottest, it's the best to work while it's warm, I guess, or hot.
So
you don't want to grab it.
What's the average thickness like that you pave at, knowing you're going to compact it to try to hit whatever depth you're going for? Like if you're doing 3 inches, how thick are you paving it, because you know it's going to drop a certain amount?
We figure it's going to drop about a 1/4 inch per inch that we pave. So if we're going to pave 3 inches, we're going to pre-compaction, we're going to put it down at about 3 3/4 to 4 inches.
Okay.
All right.
And that's how you make sure that you get your full 3 inch depth. I've heard stories about some companies that will say, 2 inch pave, and then in the small writing it says before compaction. So you're not quite getting the same thing, and you're actually getting quite a bit less if you don't read your fine print.
So Seth, when you're doing our bidding and you say we're doing a 3 inch pave, what does that mean to you?
That's going to be 3 inches after compaction.
After compaction. So you're putting it down at 3 3/4, compacting it down to the 3.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. So when you're doing a parking lot, or when we get a product, say I have a parking lot and then I had it paved, you guys came in and compacted it, what would happen if it wasn't compacted properly? What if they didn't get on it when the temperatures were right, and the majority of the rolling happens during the finish roll, not during the breakdown roll? Temperature phases. What's going to happen to that product over time?
It's going to fail. You'll just have a lot of raveling issues. A lot of the rocks will fall out. So on top of your asphalt failing, it just leaves a mess everywhere. You'll start tracking rocks everywhere. It's not a good deal. Compaction is probably the most important thing when it comes to paving.
If it's in a like a heavier truck area too, it'll literally start compacting under the truck's tires on hot days, and it'll leave ruts behind eventually, and it can turn into a quick mess. It'll crack and break easier if it's not fully compacted. Now, what is full compaction? What range are we looking for to be considered compact?
They break it down into percentages. To get into the formulas of how they come up with the percentages, I'd have to go back to college and get some sort of math class that teaches me all that good stuff. I know they with their gauges, we shoot for 92 to 97% compaction as per a Caltrans standard.
Okay.
And that's the range that we aim for when we're compacting our asphalt.
Yeah. So I think they have that high end because once you get over that, you can start breaking the rock in the mix by over rolling it. And
when the temperature drops.
Yeah, that will in turn make it so that it falls apart earlier as well.
Correct. So we, like you said, we want to hit it when the temperature is warm is the best. If the temperature drops down, we like to open it up on roadways when the asphalt's about 150, 160 degrees. From what I understand and what I know, once it hits that temperature and we continue to roll after that, especially with the vibration of the rollers, we stand a chance of what they say fracturing the rock underneath, and then it makes your compaction go the other way actually, because you're causing more air voids in it by breaking the rock.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, so I know one thing that will make B&M stand out from other companies is that we've invested in machinery that most of the other companies, none in our area that I know of, own. And one of them is a what's called a Trans-Tech.
It's a non-nuclear compaction device for the asphalt.
Okay, so we can check our asphalt compaction as we're going. This thing shoots some kind of an electrical wavelength into the asphalt, and it bounces back, and then it reads what compaction level we're getting based on the weight of the material itself. And we get the weight of the material from the plant that's manufacturing the asphalt.
I think they were getting into the equations that Seth was talking about too, where it gets super, we need to have the degree just to understand the math. I've learned a lot, actually the last 6 months, I've learned a lot about compaction for a big job that we were doing. And I kind of got involved in how it works. And there's a lot to it. It's very interesting, but it really just comes down to making sure you're getting to that right compaction percentage. And there's multiple ways to do it. We've found that the non-nuclear gauge, it's a non-destructive way of testing it. A lot of times they'll take cores, which we feel, it gives you an accurate reading of your compaction, but it also
it's leaving open holes and areas for water to get in and destroy your subgrade, and then you start cracking off of those cores. When you're coring, you're taking a drill and you're drilling a circle all the way through the asphalt, and then sending that to a plant where they run the math. They do some stuff with wax on the outside, put it in water, see how high the water rises, and gives you the pretty much exact compaction of the material. The gauges that are used by nuclear gauges and the one that we have are, like you said, non-destructive. We feel they give you a very good and close, very accurate reading, and they don't destroy anything. I like to try to push people away from doing cores because it's just not worth it for the longevity of your park.
I've done a lot of videos lately talking.
It costs a lot of money.
They do. I've done a lot of videos actually lately talking about water. I think water, when it comes to asphalt, is your biggest problem. You don't want water getting below the asphalt. And I think what he's saying is cores, it gives water a direct route down to your subgrade. Yeah. We do seal it and we do patch it so we can kind of seal it up and make it the best we can. But sorry, Seth, what were you going to say?
I was going to say what's funny about these cores is they drill these holes to test the compaction of the asphalt. We backfill these holes with asphalt and nobody tests the compaction of the hole. So not only are we putting holes in the road, we don't know if the asphalt that's going back in as a backfill meets the compaction where they just made these holes. So it's just a whole open field there for it to fail.
Yeah, I envision it as like a straw down to your subgrade too, right? You're giving yourself a direct route for that water to get down in there. You have the integrity of the product has been compromised there because you've drilled it out. I think we're getting down into the weeds again too. I think
so. Sorry, I just wanted to touch on a couple pieces of equipment to let everybody know how much we do care about this and how much we invest to make sure we're giving you guys the best product that we can. So not only do we have that gauge that reads our compaction, but we have a gigantic rubber tire roller, which is probably different than anything most people have seen if they've ever seen rollers on asphalt. It's got, I think, 8 or 9 tires And basically you run that over and it kneads the mat when you're rolling it together, and it seals the surface. It tightens that surface up and makes it even harder for the water itself to get in, gives it a cleaner look. And on larger projects, we use that all the time to make sure that you're getting a really clean finished product that most people do not have, and they're expensive to rent.
They are, yes.
But we've done our homework, and we've invested the money where we think it needs to be to give our clients the best product that we can.
I've gotten a lot of questions that have come over the last couple of weeks too, just about asphalt and like, gap graded asphalt, which we'll kind of get into. That's not something we're really talking about right now. So the big guys on that one said gap graded. We'll kind of talk about that later on. But one of them we've had is what is asphalt supposed to look like when it's done? And I think kind of what you were touching on, and with the paver and the screed and everything, and making this roll, is that when it comes to construction, I don't think there's much prettier than a finishly paved parking lot. I mean, it's flat and it's black and it's just beautiful if it's done correctly.
Smooth and clean, and
it's really I mean, I love the smell of asphalt, but I love the look of an asphalt parking lot that's been just replaced. You don't love the smell of asphalt?
Oh my goodness, I've smelled it for too long.
So if we have any questions, please reach out to us on any of our socials, Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're there to answer your questions. We'll get them to you. We'll make a video if it's something that has a good description that we can give you, or an explanation. Anything else you guys have to bring up about compaction?
Not offhand.
No, I'm good over here.
Check us out on bm-builders.com. That's our website. And really just the basis of this is that compaction is the most important thing when it comes to your asphalt. So whether you use us or you use somebody else, make sure you're asking questions about how they're compacting it, how they're going to get to the correct compaction. And actually, one thing I wanted to bring up too, which I forgot before, but your subgrade also plays that role in your compaction also. If you have soft subgrade, which we've talked about before, we don't need to get into the weeds on that one. But if you have soft subgrade, it's going to make it very difficult for you to reach compaction on the asphalt that you're putting down.
Very true. That's very true. If you can imagine putting asphalt over the top of like your dishwashing sponge, and if you try to compact that where the sponge will just push down and come right back up, it's the same thing with the soft subgrade. So it's going to do this. You won't achieve your compaction you're shooting for.
Perfect. So great. Drop your questions for our team in the comments below. We'll get to them. We'll answer them, and we'll get you all the information we can. And I look forward to talking to everyone again. Thanks, Professor Maxey, for bringing your knowledge to help us out.
My pointer too.
Thanks for joining us on Pave the Way.